virtual hearing. So we'll begin today's hearing with a public forum. Any member of the online audience who wishes to provide live verbal comments during the meeting must first register to join the meeting via the link provided on the meeting agenda. And I think we had a slide to put up while I'm reading these in case someone is there. Mike, do you have that? There we go. So I'll just go over these, but in case you want to read along, you can do that as well. I thought it might be easier. So again, if you wish, any member of the audience who wishes to participate in the public forum must first register for to join the meeting via the link provided on the meeting agenda. And the meeting agenda is posted on the city's website at www.ci.milpitas.ca.gov. And then to register for the meeting, you'll be asked to provide your name and an email address. The city will then send you a special Zoom link that will allow you to join the virtual meeting as an attendee and make comments. Your email address will be disclosed on the screen. And then when I call for public comments, registered attendees who wish to speak must click the raise hand icon within the Zoom meeting. The meeting secretary will call upon speakers one at a time, so please listen carefully for your name to be called. Those participating by mobile phone will need to dial *9 to use the raise hand feature. And then when their name is called, they will then need to dial *6 to unmute their phone. And mobile phone numbers will be displayed in the live meeting again. All speakers will be allowed to speak 1 minute on any item. Each person shall be limited to 1 comment per agenda item and 1 comment for each non-agenda item, or any non-agenda items that they wish to comment on. No responses were required from city officials or city staff on any item not on the agenda. Please use the chat box if you need technical assistance only. The chat box will not serve as a public comment forum. Thank you. So with that, again, we'll start with a public forum this morning. Hearing secretary, are there any registered participants in the online queue for general comments?
Good morning. There are no registered attendees for comment in the queue.
Fine. So we'll go straight into the public hearing portion of our agenda then. We have one item this morning. It's a single family home. Let me give you the hearing procedure and the order of input. So first, I will identify the project as described on the agenda. I will ask staff to provide a brief report, and our associate planner, Lillian Van Hoa, is here to provide the report. The applicant will then have up to 5 minutes to speak and should identify themselves by stating their name for the record. If you do not wish to speak, you may waive your time. After the applicant has spoken, any member of the public who is registered for the meeting and wishes to speak on any item may provide additional testimony up to 1 minute per speaker, either for or against the project. As previously explained, any member of the online audience will need to follow the instructions that I gave previously to register for the meeting. And then following the comments from the public, the applicant may respond to public comments or make additional remarks up to 5 minutes. So with that, let me switch over my screen. We'll get started in just a moment.
Okay, great. Good morning, zoning administrator, members of the public. My name is Lillian Van Hoa, and I'm an associate planner with the city of Milpitas. The item in front of you this morning is a site development permit to allow the development of a new 3,405 square foot single family residence located at 230 Uvas Street. Next slide, please. So the applicant is requesting a site development permit to allow the demolition of an existing 1,542 square foot single family residence and the construction of a new 3,405 square foot single family residence on a 0.168 acre property zoned R16 at 230 Uvas Street. A site development permit is required for any new main building subject to review and approval by the zoning administrator. Next slide, please. The subject site is zoned R16, single family residential. It is surrounded by other single family residences to the north, east, and west, and R16 zones, and that as well as R2 zones to the south of the property. Next slide, please. This map shows the aerial view of the site in regards to the general neighborhood. As you can see, it is surrounded by existing single family residential homes. Next slide, please. Here is the proposed site plan and floor plan of the project. The existing single family home will be demolished as part of the scope of work. The new home will be 3,405 square feet with 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a living room, a family room, kitchen, office, and separate laundry area. And all parking will be able to be accommodated within the driveway and in the existing garage. Next slide, please. Here is a rendering of the proposed project. All of the exterior materials and finishes work together using earth tone colors to blend harmoniously with the surrounding residences and the general design character of the neighborhood. Most of the homes within this neighborhood are 1 to 2 story contemporary homes. The proposed single family residence features light textured finished stucco, exterior walls, natural stone wainscoting, and a composition shingle gray roof. Next slide, please. Staff has confirmed that the project meets the findings associated with the site development permit, and those findings have been addressed in the memorandum. Next slide, please. So to date, 96 public notice postcards have been mailed to property owners and residences within the 300-foot radius of the property boundaries. A notice of public hearing was posted in the Milpitas Post on Friday, October 16th, and no phone calls or emails have been received to date. Next slide, please. Staff recommends that the zoning administrator approve permit number P-SD 20-0010 to allow the construction of a 3,405 square foot new single family residence on the valley floor, subject to the findings and the attached conditions of approval. This concludes staff's summary of the project, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. Ned, you're on mute.
I was on mute. Thank you, Lillian. And now if the applicant, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Mr. Is it Kian? Is that good? Oh, you're on mute as well. If you want to take yourself off mute, if you have any comments that you'd like to make, you're welcome to make those comments now.
Actually, Lillian explained whatever I need to, so I don't see anything to explain anymore.
Okay.
If you have a question, I am here.
Great, thank you very much. No, we're fortunate. This is a very straightforward application. It seems like a lot of explanation to go through for just a single family home, but our zoning ordinance requires us to have some type of a public hearing, just in case any of the neighbors or anyone in the area would like to make a comment. As Lillian noted in her presentation, we sent out postcards. It's our regular procedure to, what was it, 300 feet within the home, and we didn't receive any comments back, and there's no one who has joined the meeting today. So a very non-controversial project, I think easily fits in that category. I do like to usually go through, as Lily noted at the end of her presentation, there are a number of specific findings that are written into the zoning ordinance that I like to cover. A lot of what we do in these hearings is mainly for the record, in case anyone comes back and says, well, why did you do it this way? Or why didn't we have a say? Then we have a record that this meeting was held and that we covered all of the materials required by the zoning ordinance. So there are 3 findings for this type of a project. The first one, as Lillian noted, is the layout and the design of the proposed home, in this case, and the landscaping are compatible and aesthetically harmonious with adjacent and surrounding development. As Lillian noted, the proposed project meets all of the setbacks. So there's a 20-foot front setback. There's a minimum 6-foot setback on either side. And then there's a 25, I believe it was a 25-foot rear yard setback, but you are able to have a 30% encroachment into the rear yard. And this project meets all of those specifications, also meets building height. And then the one that usually garners the most attention is parking. And with a 4-bedroom home, you require 3 parking spaces. You have 2 in the garage and 2 in the driveway. So it also meets the parking standard. So we're square there. The other 2 findings meets the requirements of the Milpitas zoning ordinance, and most of that has to do with the standards that I just mentioned, and then also consistent with the Milpitas general plan. The general plan calls for single-family homes in this neighborhood, which this is, and it easily fits in onto the lot and is very consistent with the policies of the general plan. Another one, which is to foster, community pride and growth through beautification of existing neighborhoods, and certainly a new home of this quality and at this location in this neighborhood it will certainly beautify the site and improve the neighborhood. So we appreciate the additional investment. Looks like a lovely home. We wish you the best. And with that, this project is approved and with the conditions that are attached. And the conditions mainly have to do with the effective date of the permit, and that if there needs to be a time extension, it covers some of that. And you'll go forward and submit for your building permits after this, and then you're good to go. So with that, unless there are any other questions, let me get my paper here. With that, we have some closing legal comments. Any person aggrieved by any decision of any board, commission, or department head to the city of Milpitas may appeal the decision to the city council by filing written notice of the appeal with the city clerk within 12 calendar days of the date of said decision and paying the required fee. The time limit shall be strictly enforced. With that, we can conclude today's administrative hearing. And again, we wish you the best in the construction of your new home and look forward to receiving the building permit application and moving forward with that. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. And thank you to IT, Mike Liu, and the city manager's office for helping us, Rochelle Curry for helping us host this morning's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
And as always, thank you to our meeting secretary and the planning manager, Jessica Gardner. I should have introduced everyone at the beginning. We'll do it at the end.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, thanks.